Okay, now we're there. All right. So we're going to see how well this works. I'm on Wi-Fi here, and Wi-Fi doesn't always work that fast. All right, looks like we got a couple folks popping in. Todd B, yeah, I'm moved. I've been up here for a few weeks. Jordan Bell's in. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Says I only got one bar of Wi-Fi up on the top, so hopefully this works. Otherwise, I'll have to go get an internet cord from somewhere. I hear behind my ear, so it looks decent there. All right. Well, hopefully there's more than just two of you out there. Yeah, the internet here, it's not terrible. It's just that I had the Xbox go on. I was watching Ken Burns' The West. Well, I guess it was Steve Ives West. Well, anyway, the West documentary. Usually when I got the TV going, I can't run anything else. My phone won't run. Computer don't run very good. All right. Now we're getting them packing in. All right, Jordan says they can hear us loud and clear. Jake, I haven't seen you on one of these for a while. How you doing? That holster still holding up, or that pair of holsters, I guess. Is they still holding up for you? Bill 777, I don't think I've seen you in before. Welcome. Thomas Pickering, I believe, yeah, we've seen you before. Your name's familiar. I've seen it before. Welcome, welcome. All right. Yeah, it's kind of slow tonight, but I figured I have not done a live chat for a long time. I think it's been about 2 weeks, maybe longer. So I thought I would go ahead and do one tonight. I was going to do one Sunday night because I'm off Mondays and Tuesdays. So I was going to do one Sunday night. And I thought, crap, I better do one. If I'm going to do one this week, I better do it tonight. So I won't be able to stay on for too long because I got to go to bed to get to work in the morning. So we'll run this hour and a half, 2 hours max, if it gets rolling here tonight. But nice, Jake. Third place. That's pretty damn good. That's really good. Remember, all the shooting competitions I've ever done, I always come in about third from last. The only one I did pretty good in is I got the Class C champion when I shot, did trap shooting. And the only reason I got Class C champion is because the the guy that had outshot me he did so well, he actually went up to Class B. Could have went to Class A, but they didn't let him switch more than one class a season. It sounds like the neighbor's dogs are having a fit out there. My dogs are inside. They're getting to be house dogs. So but yeah, it's been an exciting last couple weeks here. I guess it's been about 3 weeks. I don't know when I did the last live chat. It's been about 2-3 weeks ago. It was in April, I know that. Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of disqualifieds. I was in on one cowboy action shoot. I didn't actually shoot at it. And they disqualified a guy because the shotgun shell didn't fully eject and it was sticking out the side. They nailed him for a loaded weapon. Let's see, Jake, did I get a bird? No, I didn't get my turkey this year. I did not. Oh, the weather did not cooperate. So the turkeys in early turkey season were not in the mood. Were not responding to calls. The bunch of turkeys we was hitting had one tom with them. But most of the toms were on the other side of the river, and all the hens were on the side where we were hunting at, save for the one tom. And they weren't even nesting yet. They were just kind of milling around. They'd had no cares in the world. And I shot one Jake on the run that I spooked out, and he got up and flew across the river and died over there somewhere. I assume he died because when that bunch that he was with come back over, he wasn't in there with them. So yeah, there was a tom and a Jake was in with that bunch of hens, and that's the only shootable birds I saw in that hunting area. Now, you can go on a freaking mile-long stretch of that area and go and find hundreds of turkeys. But usually what would happen last year when we was hunting that property is we got it late in the season, so all the turkeys had congregated to this one piece of property where they weren't being hunted at. So it was pretty easy to find a bird then. But yeah, as early as spring, they weren't cooperating. And I come up here to Wyoming, and where I'm working at, the park, Fort Laramie, the park is about 1,000 acres. And they was doing the drive around. There was freaking turkeys everywhere. We saw a group of 30 toms and jakes, and probably another group of probably 20 hens that were all kind of gathered up, and they didn't care. But you can't hunt them on the Park Service property, and there's no public hunting anywhere close by, and the private that'll let you in wants money. So, hey, West Covina, yeah, real great weather. I've drawn bad weather on all my days off. Last week I drew cold and nasty, and this week I drew cool and nasty again. It's rained for 2 days solid. And I just looked outside about 2 hours ago, and it quit raining, so I let the dogs out to go do their business because they would not go outside. And if I made them go outside, they just sit by the door and wouldn't do anything. But yeah, it's wet, it's cold. And tomorrow I go back to work, and it's supposed to be nice and warm and sunshiny. Just my luck. Nice thing is, and it's nice thing, and it also shows I'm a dumbass. I got a shooting range right up the end of my street. I was asking my landlord where the nearest shooting range was, and he said, "Oh yeah, everybody just goes right up here up the end of the street." So I got a place to go shoot. The bad thing is I didn't bring any of my ammo or anything with me because I didn't think I was going to have the time to go shoot. And so I left all my black powder at home. Left all my bullets for the guns I brought, save for the ones that, were not for pleasure purposes, but for, practical purposes. And being that ammo's still hard to find, I'm not going to shoot them too much. But yeah, he said there's a spot up here. Go up to the end of town. Once you get off the street, there's a hillside, and he says there's broken glass all over, and he says that's where you shoot at. That's where everybody goes. So, hey, Trapper Paul's in. Always wanted to go to the Cody Museum. That's the other side of the state from me. It's about a 6-7 hour drive. I was going to run up and see a buddy of mine in Yellowstone. He's like, oh, it's only like 3 or 4 hours. I looked it up on the phone, and yeah, it's a 7-hour drive to get there, which, I go up through Cody because I know that area. And I want to go to the Cody Firearms Museum, but probably not going to do it right soon. But yeah, I'm down in the little corner. I'm close to north of Cheyenne, about an hour. North of Laramie, about an hour. So it's down in the corner here, out in the middle of nowhere. It's on the Oregon Trail. That's the only reason it gets a lot of traffic, because it's on the Oregon Trail. Let's see. Serpent's in. West Covina was in. Yeah, I'm all caught up on there. So slow enough, I'm not getting too far out. So, yep. But anyway, yeah. So I was going to buy a handgun before I come up here. I was looking at a 72 open top. before I come up here, and I was going to do a video with it, something to do a video with. And yeah, I decided after I got to going home, or I got to cleaning up at home there, that, my little closet that I converted into a gun safe wasn't going to really cut the mustard. It, at the time I put it, it satisfied me. But then, I got thinking, I'll be way far away. My family isn't always going to be at home. I ain't going to have my dogs to scare off people coming through anymore. So instead of buying a gun, I bought a gun safe. And so that went my gun budget for the whole year. All right, we'll see you later, Jake. Yep, glad you jumped in. I hadn't seen you on here for a while. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep doing the YouTube work. Might do a few holster making videos here in the near future. But it's been a exciting last couple of weeks moving up here. Yeah, I got a new gun safe, and I bought just big enough to get everything in. I think there's 2 guns that didn't get in there, and they were over at my uncle's, and I wasn't too worried about them because anybody try to get up to where they was at are going to break their neck because the staircase is plumb full. You can't get up to them. So, but yeah, I bought the new gun safe, which it's just a Centurion, Liberty Centurion. It's what the budget would allow. I'd sold enough holsters that I had enough set aside that I could buy it. So, and then with the Biden bucks, I had a little bit extra. Got everything in there. Brown Bess. I'll tell you what, if you ever buy a gun safe, and if you ever go to buy a Brown Bess, don't expect to get it to fit in there very easily. I had to take the lock off to get it in. That was the only way I could get the damn door to shut. Other than that, and then I just found out that extra rifle holder they got in there so you can take the shells off on the other side and just have all long guns in instead of having the shelving. I took that and made a nice little pistol stand for all the black powder guns, so I got all them in there, and plus what was the holders on the door. I got everything. The only one that was sitting loose was one Patterson I had sitting in there. And I had it sitting in the holster, which I should have took that out of the holster before I closed the safe up. Oh well. It's not like the bluing was doing any good anyway. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Glad I got to save. I wish I could have got to spend more time down there and kind of showed it a little bit, but that was what my gun budget went for this year. So unless I sell a lot more holsters, or sell if these pommel bags that I'm currently working on get sold, these fancy ones that I was hoping to have done by now, get them sold, I might have enough to swing one. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. One nice thing is where I'm at, I ain't going to be spending a lot of money for gas to go to work. The trade-off is that I got to spend more for rent. So am I getting out ahead? No. Am I staying the same? Yeah. So is it worth it? Totally. But the house I got is awesome. I love this house. And it's great. They I don't know if it was like an attached garage at one time or what, but in the back there's a room that landlord had for a workout room when he was living in here, and he left his workout equipment, so that's nice. I get to do a little exercise when I'm not being lazy and sitting and watching documentaries. But the other nice thing is there's a bench in there. I got a perfect place to do my leather work. So I've been doing what I can. The big thing that's limiting me right now is just waiting to get enough money saved up from when I get my first paycheck, because the government runs you about a month behind before they give you a paycheck. Once I get in that, I get the neat's foot oil in, get some more dye in, and then I'm going to move to the airbrush because I tried to go back to the wool daubers, and on russet dye, it looks like crap. So I'm going back to the airbrush. But yeah, as soon as I get next paycheck or two in, I want to get into production real good then. So yeah, or trapper or that, or more Biden bucks, one of the two. If I got more Biden bucks right now, that would go for leather. Just so I can make a little extra money that way. Let's see. Lots of new names popping up here. Zombie, yeah. It's been a little while. Like I said, everything's been going fine, so. And the dogs are having their little pissing match back here, whatever. I don't know what Dolly's pissed off about. So anyway, yeah, if you hear noise in the background, that's them two disputing each other. In the moment, what's a holster run for a 58 Remington 5.5-inch barrel at a right hand cross draw? So all my flap holsters, civilian half flaps, and don't quote me on this because I need to go look at my price list. I need to write all this stuff down and get a brochure made or something. I think the last 5.5-inch civilian half flap I made at cross draw was 70. It was either 70 or 75, so it's in that ballpark. Just a plain old Slim Jim, I was charging 65. This is how bad my memory is with numbers, because it hasn't been that damn long since I wrote all these prices down. So yeah, it's 65 on a Slim Jim, 70 on double loops, 75 on the triple loop. And yeah, I think it was 70 on a civilian half flap. So anyway, send me an email, which I need to put that up. Figure this out here. God, it hasn't been that long, Duke. You shouldn't be forgetting how to do this stuff. So there you go. There's the email right there. Send me an email. Kind of give me an idea what you want. I can come up with a price, but unless you want elaborate tooling, which the only elaborate tooling that I've been doing is basket weave, and I've only done 2 of them so far. But anyway, the elaborate tooling, that'll bring it up to just about 100 before shipping, and shipping is standard $20. And I found out I can do up to 4 holsters for $20. And that's with packing materials. Oh crap! That just reminds me, I don't have anything for packing material. Might have to go find a cheap newspaper stand somewhere. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, email me and I'll get you a price because I've got it wrote down back in the back room, and I'm in my lazy boy right now. I'm not going to get up and go looking for it. Zombie, hey Duke, I was wondering what your opinion is for 410 for home defense, self-defense. You think it'll do the job? Depends on what you want to do. If you're talking about buying a Taurus Judge in 410, don't. Just buy a 44 mag. I know the I think Taurus Judge and the Taurus Raging Bull, which are the Judge is 45 and the 44 mag. Well, it's 44 mag. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to go look it up here. I'm pretty sure they're the same price. Could just tell me the price on it when I type it in there. Oh, sure, then you get rid of Judge. So yeah, price of a Taurus Judge is in just up to the 500 mark. And you can also get that in 454 Casull as well, which is a pretty stout round. The problem is finding anything right now. It's been a while since I looked anywhere. I'll look on Bud's Gun Shop. And that's stainless steel. Never mind. Look it up here right quick. Let's just look for a Taurus 44 mag. Right. Okay, so you're looking getting up to this says up into the $1,000 range, which seems a bit high for me. See what this one is. That's a Taurus M44. They're selling for about the $500 range, so it'd be possible to get one of the 500. I gotta figure out where my live chat's at again, and then get caught up with where I'm at. Okay. So yeah. He says, well, I was thinking for a primary, the Henry Axe. I haven't seen the Henry Axe. Oh, let's look up the Henry Axe right quick. Oh, it's basically a mare's leg for $1,000. Yeah, if you're gonna spend that much, just get you a 44 mag. Get you a Smith for that price. Anyway, yeah. I've got a 223 and 38 for my home and personal defense weapons right now. I did not bring my Mossberg 12. Figured if I got pulled over with all the handguns I had in there, all the black powders I brought up to make holsters with, the less of other modern guns in there, the more likely I'd be let off and not get, detained. So yeah, any double action revolver would work. Single action army, a Colt single action army would do the job. 45 Colt. Don't ever ask me to recommend what black powder gun is best for self-defense, because there's this thing called Murphy's Law. And apologize for the language, but Murphy's Law basically states anything that can go wrong will go wrong at the worst fucking time possible. That's the basic definition of it. So yeah, I don't know, any revolver would do, or 1911 Glocks, whatever you want to do. It if I was going to go with a semi-auto, I'd go with a 45 ACP, just a little extra knockdown power, but that's my opinion. 9mm, at least you got enough bullets to kill them, whereas a 45, it only takes one or two. Serpent, I'm still using PayPal. So that reminds me, I need to go take my funds off PayPal that I've got sitting on there. And that's another reason why I don't like people paying ahead of time, which I've had that happen here lately, but I make exceptions for some. The biggest thing with that is if you pay me ahead of time, something happens, I can't deliver on it. Well, then I can't guarantee you're going to get anything back. And PayPal has been jerking people's chains around, and so I don't like to let it sit over there too long either. But yeah, Trapper, you and I are of the same mindset on that. I did mine. That's funny. When I built mine, I ordered a Palmetto State Armory kit, and this is when you could get the kit for like $300. Then I went down to the gun store, and they had a Palmetto State lower, so I bought that. It was the cheapest one they had. I think I paid $37 for it. So when it was all said and done, I got an AR pistol for $400, and right now, Jesus, the kit that I bought is going for close to $8. Trapper, I don't think mine's 11. I think I got the 8-inch. Mine is pretty compact. I can pull the pins. Well, I can take the upper off the lower, and they're just about the same length when the brace is extended fully. So I got the real short one. Mine fit real nice in a backpack if I needed it to. But I haven't shot it yet. That's the thing. I haven't shot it. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm sure it'll work just fine, but yeah, I haven't shot it, and I haven't shot my 38 yet. Come to think of it, I don't think I've pulled the trigger in over a year. All right, I got to catch up here. Wes Cavina, you should do a few P80 Glocks before you can. Self-defense. Yeah. Just not a Glock guy. It's like, you got this Glock, which nothing on Glock. Glocks, they work. They get the job done. But you got this ugly piece of plastic. Whereas I could buy a 1911, I've got this elegant, beautiful piece of steel. It's like, I just love a 1911. I don't own a 1911, but I love 1911s. All the guns I've shot, I love 1911s the most. Although I did have a plastic gun for a while at Smith & Wesson SD40, which is basically a Glock knockoff. It ran damn good, and then I wished I had never traded it. That's the one gun I've gotten rid of that I wished I hadn't have. And that's just because it was not cycling. Found out it was a real quick, easy fix. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Yep, Trapper. John Browning. Yep, John Moses Browning. Can't go wrong with any of his designs, except for the 87 lever action. That's because Winchester wouldn't listen to him. Which, don't get me wrong, I love shooting that shotgun too. It's a fun gun to shoot, but that's a bitch to load. And I cussed again. Damn, I'm getting bad about that. I have to start censoring myself a little better. Yeah, Sabater, we're talking truck guns. I got a couple. I got my build pistol. And then I got my little Mossberg, which I found out when I was shooting birdshot at 10 paces with birdshot. I don't think that would penetrate skin. I went out and shot a milk jug with it one day, and it never, the wad broke the milk jug, but the birdshot never went through it. And these were hunting loads, number 6s. So it's a good close-up gun. I wouldn't trust it out too far, though. That, and it kicks like an SOB. There's Garrett. I was wondering if you guys are going to show up. All right. I'm glad to see Garrett on here. Hey, Sabater, that works too. It's to each their own. Just in my neck of the woods, that thanks to all the drug stuff, well, and this was back down in Colorado too, where the drug stuff was bad, I preferred to have a few extra rounds to pump out. There ain't nothing wrong with a 66. Nothing wrong with it at all. Or 73, or a 92, or a 94, or a 95. Yeah, Trapper, I do too. That's on my list. If I do buy a gun this summer, that's what it's going to be. For one, it would work good with my living history, and I've got a lot of the handguns for that already. And two, I'm in Wyoming. I can't buy a handgun because I'm a Colorado resident, and I'm not going to be up here long enough to justify changing my residency. Yeah, I noticed that autocorrect there, zombie. There's nothing wrong with a Beretta. I mean, it's 9mm. That's the only thing I see wrong with it, but they make them in 42. I've shot a 9mm Beretta. Or no, excuse me, I shot a 40 Beretta. And I like them. I really do. That's one non-1911 handgun that I like is that Beretta. And the only 1911 I didn't like was my buddy's, because he had this specialty one that had a trench night sight. It was some Kimber gun. Really weird looking 1911. But it had when he got it, it had just a flat spur with nothing for the thumb to catch, because it was like a concealed carry gun. And so you had to carry it. Carried it cocked and locked. You couldn't put it in your pocket because it'd freaking hang up doing that. But it was designed to carry with the hammer down, so nothing in the chamber. And piss poor design for 1911, if you ask me. But anyway, carried it in there. Then he went and put a regular 1911 skeletonized hammer on it. Well, it didn't line up with a beaver tail quite right. I'd shoot that thing, and that hammer would just chew up my hand right here. It wasn't like the GI hammer on it, but that was the only 1911 I didn't enjoy shooting, was when it was chewing up my hand. Before he changed it, it was a fun gun. I could shoot it better than he could. Yeah, Trevor, I got a Model 94 too, and I love that thing. The only thing wrong with it is the sights are way off. And I got to thinking that all I really have to do to fix that is go get a sight for the original style Model 92, not the modern sight that they have on it. And that would probably take care of the problem of it shooting higher than a kite. But yeah, good old 30-30. There's nothing wrong with them either. The only gun that's a bad gun is the one you don't have when you need it. See you later, Thomas. We'll catch you. Hopefully we'll do this next week. Yeah, Zombie. Yeah, the auto ordnance is the one I've been looking for a long time, but they just keep going up in price. I think they're up. When I first started looking at getting one, they was about $350. So this is the same ballpark as the Rock Island Armory. And between the two, I preferred the auto ordnance. But then the price just kind of started climbing up, so I never really had enough to justify one. And I think the last time I looked, they was in the $600 ballpark, which I don't know. Rock Island Armory might be at that point too. The last time I looked at one, it was $400. Which I fired at Rock Island. There's nothing wrong with them either. It's just their grips. I don't know what it is about their grips. They don't feel as good as the Colt style. Let's see what the price for Rock Island 1911 is right now. See, look on Sportsman's, because Sportsman's is the only one that got anything in. Rock Island's $429, so yeah, they're still in that same ballpark there. They even got them in stock. Does not look that way. Yeah, they don't have anything in stock. But yeah, my uncle's got one of the short ones. I fired a longer one, but they were that newer style slide with the you had to have the paper clip to take apart. I don't care for them, but I did see one. The last one I looked at was in the 400 ballpark. It had the old style bushing system, so if I go with one, that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to deal with that freaking paper clip bullshit. Yeah, Trapper. Yeah, the grips is really the only thing that turned me away from the Rock Island. I looked at one of those that's made from Turkey. I don't even remember what the maker is now. And for fit and feel, it looked great. Then I tried the damn trigger. Holy shit. It was comparable to a Nagant revolver, which I fired one of them too, and fired 2 rounds. The guy gave me a full cylinder. I fired 2 rounds and I handed it back to him. Said, "No, thank you." I'll do without. Hey, Saboteur, there ain't nothing wrong with that. The Colt Police either. Those are good guns. I wouldn't mind having the Colt. The hell was it? The one that was in 45. Or not semi-auto. Jesus, the revolver double action. But that'll be a long ways down the road. Last time I looked at one of them, I think there was 900 to 1,000, and they've probably gone up since then. I was going to go to the gun store today this morning. I was over in the next town over buying groceries and gas. And then I spent $120 between groceries and gas, so I didn't think it would be good. But when I got to the gun store, they weren't open yet, so I turned around and come home. But one of these days I'll get over there and look at them. Thing of it is, by the time I get off work, come home, get changed, and drive over there, they're closing. And then the only day I can get down there that I'm off is Tuesday because they're closed Mondays. So I'll get there eventually. See what they got in stock. Hopefully they can get you birdies in because, like I said, I've been looking at a 66. I just can't decide if I want the carbine or the short rifle. I think the carbine would be more appropriate historically. Yeah, I'd love to have a couple 1911s. I ain't even got one. Yeah, another buddy of mine, he has a original Colt made in 1917, but it's all nickel plated with the gun, and then the barrel and the hammer and the trigger were gold plated, and that's the way it came from the factory. That wasn't done afterwards. That's the way it came from the factory. The gold plating is still pristine. The nickel or silver, I don't remember if it was nickel or silver, but the white metal was flaking a bit, but the gold on it was still pristine. Zombie, send me an email. Ruger Blackhawk 7.5 should still work out in single action army holster. Like I said, the only tooling I'm currently offering is border stamping and or basket weave. Basket weave is $30 for just the half the body of the holster. So the pouch where the gun goes in, basically the front half. And then border stamping goes around it, and that's $15. Where at in Rapid did they have the walker at? Was it at First Stop? First Stop usually pretty good about getting stuff in. Was. Yeah, Zombie, send me an email and I'll see if I can get you some pictures. I'll have to remember to do it. First thing is I got to find the pictures. Either that or you can go on to my Instagram, which is Duke Fraser Holsters on Instagram. And I've got a lot of pictures on there. I think I've got the basket weave on there. I don't think I have anything with the border stamp on it, but it's just simple, real simple pattern. Well, Hunter Bonnie says he's got a walker. All right. Saber's First Stop. Nice. Yeah, First Stop's always got the. Let's see. Where was I at? Yeah. So anyway, check out the Instagram page if you got Instagram, or get somebody that does have Instagram, or send me an email. I'll send you the pictures, but it may take me a while depending on where I'm at and how the internet's working. So, anyway, I got to catch up here. I'm getting distracted by all the All right. Saboteur, they had an 1860 Army civilian model, and I grabbed it. You lucky son of a. If I'd have been there, I'd have grabbed it. I haven't seen one of those civilian models, and every time I go to look for one, they're always out of stock. I've been thinking about getting a fluted cylinder one, and I thought, no, all I really need to do is just go buy a fluted cylinder. So I'm thinking about doing that. Because Taylor's has them in stock. Just buy the 60 fluted cylinder and stick it on the gun, and hopefully it times right. If not, I get to file 6 ratchets till they all time right, which sucks. So usually when you're timing a gun, timing the cylinders, you time it by filing the hand. But when you're wanting to have multiple cylinders for one gun, then you got to time the ratchet teeth on the back. And I did that with my 4440. I put a 44 special cylinder on it, which I've never shot because I never could find 44 special ammo that was cowboy loads. Anyway, I put that 44 special cylinder in there, and I filed each and every one of those ratchet teeth. It took me 8 hours, whereas if I could have just filed the hand, I'd have been done in 2 at max. But yeah, when you're timing those ratchet teeth, oh, that gets tedious. It gets real tedious. Nice thing about it, though, is when you're timing on the cylinder, it's easier to take off. You don't have to disassemble the whole gun to do it. Hunter Bonnie, good luck getting Cabela's to get one in special. You'd have a better luck finding another Uberti dealer, getting it that way, depending on where you're at, which I don't know where you're at, but I know the one store back home, well, 2 stores, they could order just about anything, provided it's in the United States. But any gun store should be able to order it, and any Uberti importer or dealer, or I should say, any Uberti dealer would probably be a better chance of getting it in now, being that they're kind of hard to find. The 2, 3 that you can find real easy now, walkers are starting to come in. The ones I've been finding on the line have been the pocket models, and very limited number of the armies, and usually civilian models, like Saboteur was saying earlier. Saboteur, that Wells Fargo, was it with the loading lever or without? Because I doubt it's there by the time I ever could get up to it, because I'm about 4 hours from Rapid. But for the right price, I'd buy it. I drive up there. Yeah, Hunter, on the timing on a 58 Remington, that's the problem with a 58 Remington. On the Colts, the ratchet teeth stick out. On Remington, they're recessed into the cylinder. So those are hard to time that way. Yeah, Hunter, if you're in Connecticut, good luck. I hate to say it like that, but yeah, you're gonna have a hard time finding them out there. Geez, Saboteur, God, I now want to drive up there. Yeah, I've got one of those anyway. It's got a longer barrel and doesn't work, but that'll be my justification for not spending money just yet. But anyway, yeah, right now it's hard to find stuff, and it's getting better. But I just got an email from Midway USA today saying they was they was going to have a bunch of M1 carbines coming in, so I'm hoping they ain't outrageously priced. Hunter, I agree with you on that statement, but I'm not going to unhide it just because I don't want YouTube to get pissy with me. But I agree with you. The only nice thing about Connecticut is I got a friend that's out there. That's the only good thing I got to say about Connecticut. Well, that and Colt. Okay, I got to give Colt credit. He was in Connecticut. So two things about Connecticut that I like: Colt factory and friend of mine's out there. Hey, squib loads in the house. Yeah, I would hate to live back there on the East Coast and try to have to go through gun stores and stuff because it just seems like it's such a pain in the butt back there. Plowboy's in the house. Hey, Plowboy. Yep, I'm up here in the new place. So that's the kitchen right there behind me, which is more of a kitchen than what I had. The living room's here, which is about the size of the kitchen and living room at home if you got rid of the refrigerator and the stove and everything. And then there's a little dining room behind the kitchen there, and that's about the extent of the house. Then there's a room on the back that they call a workout room, and that's where I'm doing my leather work because there's a nice bench in there. Oh, I got a wonderful place. I got an absolute wonderful place. I love it. Yeah, it's 2-bedroom house. I got 1 bedroom I just shut off so the dogs don't get in there and mess it up. Bangs that the guy that was supposed to roommate with me decided he wasn't going to take the job. His loss, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's the kitchen. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Hunter, the only reason I'm going to come out there to Connecticut, like I said, is to see the Colt factory because it's supposed to be part of the National Park Service now. I don't know if that's finalized yet or not. The last I checked, it was in the works. And then, yeah, I go back to visit that one friend of mine, but I ain't going to do it right now when COVID's on, that's for sure. Probably ain't going to do it until I get a permanent job and I can afford to travel when I'm not traveling for job purposes. Wes Cavina says all the riffraff is on. So far, Squib Bloat, I'm loving every minute of it. About a minute of it. So I haven't fired the big cannon yet, but I did do drill last week. Or week before last. We went and drilled on it, which I fired a swivel gun. So I knew some of it. But the other parts of it, because I went from a 3-man swivel gun to a 4-man cannon. And the loading is totally different. So on a 3-man swivel gun, the guy on the left of the barrel, the tube, he handles the cartridge and let's see. Yeah, he handles the cartridge and he also sponges a piece and he also rams. So, he does the job of the two on the front. So anyway, yeah, sticks it in there, sponges it, sticks in the cartridge, rams it home. And then the guy on the right does the priming. And that's all he does. Besides tend the vent. Then you go on to 4-man. So the guy up on the front left handles the cartridge. Then he steps out. The guy on the left by the muzzle swabs the barrel and rams it. So trying to learn to do all that with the left hand or the right hand compared to my left, it was backwards for me. So I had a little time catching on with that, but it didn't take too long to do that one. Running the primer was a pain in the butt. Not the actual priming process wasn't bad. It was the fact that I thought you're supposed to, really rip that thing like, you're killing a snake. And I kept losing the pin that we used, the practice pin. And then they told me, like, no, you just kind of twitch your wrist is all you really got to do. So that one was fun. And then the gunner, one that's giving the commands and adjusting and making sure everything's right, that I wasn't quite ready for. So it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be fun when we finally do get to shoot it. But yeah, they've got an original Gatling gun there, which I'm going to take pictures of here one of these days, and I'll post them on the Instagram. I pretty sure I can't do video there without paying a flat rate fee. So, but yeah, there's a Gatling gun that is possibly going to get moved up into the visitor center. And then they've got one of the self-contained metallic artillery pieces, along with enough mountain howitzers to equip a full regiment. There's all kinds of mountain howitzers. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. I wished I could get to shoot the Gatling gun, but the Park Service changed the rules and you can't shoot originals, and that's an original Gatling gun from back in the day, so we can't shoot it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I would love to have dumped a mag out of that thing. And I'll probably get to shoot a 4570 original Springfield trapdoor. May or may not get to fire the single action army, which I've got my own, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of cool stuff to do out there. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've been putting the miles on because, when I was at Bent's Fort, I walked 7 miles a day on a courtyard that's, I don't know, 75 by 80 feet, something like that. It's not a real big fort. Up here, Fort Laramie is not a big building. It's just a bunch of buildings that are scattered out on about 200 acres, I think is what they said, is what the fort sits on, fort proper. So, yeah, I get a lot of exercise in when I'm out doing my rove, which is in the green and gray. Haven't done too much in the living history costume yet besides school groups, but yeah, that's fine. Sounds like it's starting to rain again. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments here. Serpent, we'll catch you later. Oh yeah, you'd asked me about a holster. I don't remember details, but yeah, send me an email. We'll get in touch on it. Because I should be able. I'm hoping by the 1st of June, I should be able to really start getting going with the holsters. So I'm going to get a paycheck here next week, and then I'll get my next paycheck will come right on the 1st of June. So I should have enough money to cover rent and then be able to order a bunch of stuff. I got to order some leather. Right now I've got a couple orders that are going to take precedence on them. There's one's already paid for a pommel bag project. Yeah, Savader, what is that the one that sells the gold coins there? Has a jewelry store, the gold store right next door to it. I know exactly I'm pretty sure I know exactly which pawn shop you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it. Rushmore Pawn is what comes to mind, but that's, don't know if that's quite right. Yeah, West Covina, I don't make belts yet. If I can sell enough to justify spending $10,000 on a Campbell and Randall sewing machine, I will make belts. But right now, no. Presidential, that's what it is, Savage, or Presidential Pawn. Yeah, I knew Rushmore Pawn wasn't right. I was just thinking Rushmore because they had the presidents on it. Yeah, Presidential Pawn. That's the one I'm thinking of. Was that the one they had it? Anyway, I got to take a quick break. The water's running through me, so I'm going to run to the bathroom. I will be right back, folks. Stay put. All right, I'm back. Okay, Saboteur, yep, okay. Oh, you got to be kidding me. They had a 44 Henry single action arm. Boy, those are freaking rare. Those are really rare. In fact, there was a guy on Instagram just posted a picture of one of those. I can't remember who the heck that is on the Instagram that posts them, but yeah, he posted a picture of it, and they were super, super rare. That's cool. That's cooler and cool. All right, I got to put my feet back up here. So, all right. Well, it doesn't look like too many chats coming while I was in the bathroom. The nice thing about this place is the bathroom that I got is about twice the size of what I had. The toilet's still kind of in a tight corner because they had a little privacy wall that they built on beside it. But the nice thing is that it's not so tight to the wall. I actually sit square on the SOB, unlike the one I had at home was so tight to the wall that I just sit on it sideways because my fat butt wouldn't go in there right. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Got a nice shower. It actually works. Oh, I really like this house. And it's got a nice yard too. And it's got a nice garden. If the weather would get to cooperate to where I could actually do something with the garden. But I'll just double make sure I got everybody caught up here. Pretty sure I got all the chat caught up. Yeah, I did. All right. Looks like the chat kind of slowed down here a little bit, so just refreshing everything and make sure it's all still coming in clear. All right. Oh, I do have one holster I can show here. So this is a newer style. Really, all it is just a derivative of a style that I'm still another style that I make. So y'all have seen this one. Hey, early's in. Sorry, I can't. I've been wearing my glasses all day, and then I take them off, and my eyes are doing the cross thing. So anyway, yeah, I got this style that y'all have seen before. Well, I found this style of this basic outline of another one in a book, and then I got to look at it, and they showed pictures of the backside on the belt side. And on the belt side, it's recurved for the trigger. So I decided to make one because all I had to do is just put a recurve and put the recurve up here on the back end. And that was a basic copy of it. Hey, Scott. So yeah, this one I'm working on. I haven't done the toe plug in it yet, but and the reason why I'm able to finish this one out is because I oiled the hell out of it before I come up here. So one of the reasons I haven't been working on holsters as much is because that Herman oak that I got, if you start trying to fold it without oiling it, or that first piece I cut, you had to wet it to really get it to do what it's supposed to. But this newer piece, it folds a little better, but it's still the outside crack. So it's really dry leather. I don't know why they sold it that dry, but it's really, really dry. So this one I had oiled, and it folded over just beautiful. But yeah, I was able to get this one done. I did all the dyeing. I've gone to dyeing before I sew. Before I was sewing it all and then doing the dye, and you get overlaps and places that looked bad. With this setup, a lot neater, and you can see the threads on it. So you can see the thread there; it stands out better. I think it just looks a lot more better, and I ain't gonna change my prices because it looks better. So you're still getting the same price. But yeah, this was a style. So this one's available, and this one is a the original style was a cavalry draw style. The only difference though between this one and the one I copied is I thought it had, because it had the gun in it. They showed it with a gun in it, and then they took the gun out to show the back side. And I assumed it was a Colt Navy because they didn't really have anything for scale there. And it wasn't. It was actually for a Dragoon revolver. So I'm going to see about making a pattern like this for the Dragoon. I'm going to blow this pattern up, make a one that'll fit the Dragoon. So, yeah, that's the one I've gotten done that's new. Besides another one I'm working on for the 11 Bang Bang guys. And that one I'm still working on. I got to do some stuff with it. I think I might have screwed it up. Might have to cut it out again, but oh well, if I do, I do. Yeah, early on that garden. Yeah, it's the weather this spring is just too chilly out here in the west. My grandmother said they planted plants and then it dropped down. This, because they got the same storm that we was getting, so it dropped down. But I think they're far enough south they didn't get the cold. But yeah, I was gonna, and then I didn't start my tomatoes and my pepper plants, so I don't know. I don't think my peppers are gonna do worth a crap. I ain't gonna plant too many of them. Might plant a cayenne and a couple of my sweet habaneros and the sweet jalapenos, and maybe a bell. And I might plant one or two tomato plants. But zucchini plants, them things, you can plant them almost any time of the year, and I'll take that back. You can plant them anytime in the early spring, and they'll produce. Last year, Dad and I planted 6, and they was going all crazy, and they was producing so much we couldn't keep up with them. And then Grandma told me, she says, "Well, I want 9 more." We planted those at the end of June. Oh, holy crap, Grandma! And so Dad and I thinking that, well, these 9 are going to produce like crazy, and the 6 that we had planted beforehand were getting overgrown and growing into other plants. We cut those out, and the 9 that come up didn't hardly produce a damn thing. I mean, the 9, there was 3 of each. So there was 3 round zucchini, 3 crooked neck yellows, and 3 just your regular green zucchinis. All those plants produced maybe the equivalent of what 1 of the yellow zucchinis did when we first planted them, and we had 2 of each. So yeah, that was fun. Let's see. Early says, do you make Remington new model Army cylinder pouches? I don't, but I could because I do have a cylinder here. I'll have to come up with a pattern for them, but yeah, I could probably make them. Kind of give me an idea what you want, what you got in mind. I'll have to. I don't remember if I brought my snaps up with me, and I don't even know if I brought my snap setter with me. So I might have to. If you want snaps on it, I might have to make purchase or a special purchase there. But yeah, I could probably make one. Yeah, Trapper Paul, fried zucchini. There ain't nothing better. Fried, grilled, and you can do oven fried, which Grandma likes to do, and I like them too. I like them fried just in oil, plain. I like them when Grandma puts you cook a zucchini, I'll eat it. I'll eat a zucchini raw, not as readily, though. I don't like them as much raw, but the zucchini is one of those vegetables that I'll eat till it gets dark. Hey, Scott, no worries on that. Hey, I understand. I had a $300 vet bill come up on Dolly because she decided not to crap for 3 days in a row, and I thought she was bound up, and then come to find out that she'd just been eating a lot of deer meat and got a deer bone in her, and her butt was sore was the only problem. So she still cost me $300 vet bill, but yeah, I can understand. So yeah, no worries. Just whenever you need to, whenever you're ready, just send me an email. And I've not got a lot of orders right now other than hey, okay, Garrett says they're all here now. Just about to say, the only orders I got right now is with the 11 Bang Bang guys, and then I got 2 others that I got to do. But yeah, whenever. And if the orders come in slow right now, that would probably be better. If they're slower, um, things I only got a couple days a week work on them, and I didn't do much today because, like I said, until I get some Neat's Foot oil ordered in, I can't do a whole lot right yet. But next week I get my paycheck, so I'm gonna make a big purchase there and order more leather. I got to order some buckles and for the pommel bags, and then I'm gonna try a new type of thread. And whoever it was that recommended the harness needles to me, thank you. I ordered a bunch of them, but I didn't know what size to order, so I ordered two different sizes. I ordered a 2 and a 2/0, and the 2/0 is like, holy crap. They're big. They're too big for what I do. But I could still use them in a pinch. I just have to use pliers with them when I pull them through. But the 2s, oh my God, those things are nice. I like those needles. I like them so much better than those freaking little dinky tandy needles I've been doing. So ones I got are about like that. Oh, it's so much easier stitching with them. And just the stitching goes so much smoother. So whoever it was that recommended me those, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Triple K stuff, that's your real cheap budget stuff, and it will do. There's nothing wrong with it for the price you pay. Um, I've got several Triple K holsters, and I mean, they do okay. If you're not doing reenactment, if you're not doing anything historical, they slide. Um, but when you get into the living history stuff, that's when they really, really go to crap. West Covina did one, and then it won't show it, so I'm going to show it. Excuse me for shopping. I'm scrounging for work right now. Anyway, eBay item, whatever that is, trade you for a belt. Let me go to eBay. And then it's going to, yeah. Yeah, West Covina. Those sewing machines do not work with the kind of leather that I sew with. So there's a funny story with one of them. Me and a buddy thought that if we put a hydraulic motor on one of them, attached a hydraulic motor to one of them, that they would work better with a sewing machine. And I'm talking hydraulic motor like what you run on a tractor. So he has this hydraulic system that runs off for like the hydraulic cattle chutes. You start it up like a lawnmower motor on it. You got your levers. Well, anyway, we connected it and we hooked up this hydraulic motor with a belt that runs, um, basically like what you run a grain auger with. Hooked it up on there, put a sprocket on the sewing machine, put a chain, we put a chain on it. We cranked that thing up, and that sewing machine come apart, flying to pieces. They work okay for real thin, like upholstery leather. Like if you're sewing something for a chair, they work great. But when you get into working this bigger leather, this heavier leather, they won't go through. You'll break the needles and they mess up the leather. But depending on what kind of belt you want, yeah, I could send me an email and let me know what kind of belt you're looking for. Maybe I can make something work on it. But if it's one of those where all the loops are stitched on individual, for me to hand stitch that's going to be a pain in the butt. That's why I don't offer them, is because it takes so damn long to do them. Whereas with a sewing machine, you can do one in an hour or two. Let's see. Sabater says, "What did you think of that Smith & Wesson American holster I sent you?" Let's see. Smith & Wesson holster you sent me. Oh, that was in an email, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember here. Having a brain fart here. Scott or Sabater, having a brain fart. Which holster was that? Yeah, I'm having a real brain fart there. And West Covina, I don't know why, but YouTube's hiding all your comments. I can make Walker holsters. I got a couple of them. Those are easy to do. Sabater is a month or so ago. Okay. Trying to look through my email here. Tell you what, send it to me again, because I don't remember it. Let's see. Garrett says Triple K holsters seem a little stiff to me and don't quite carry as smoothly as Duke holsters. Duke holsters tend to form to your belt after a week. Well, appreciate that. Yeah, Triple K. I don't know what leather they're using. Imagine they're using a stiffer. What do they categorize that? There's the stuff I'm using is more like let's say skirting leather. There's different grades. So there's the really stiff stuff, then there's the really softer stuff, and they use kind of the stiffer stuff. Yeah, we'll see you, West Covina. Let's see. About a month or so. Let's see. Yeah, it really says really have a quality made one. But yeah, and I've been there. I bought a pair of the Hickok Triple Ks that come from Cabela's. They did okay. They weren't the best looking, but for somebody that's on a real super tight budget, a $30 holster, it works. The one downside to the Triple Ks that I noticed when I carried anything for an extended period of time is that the stitching always comes out on the belt loop. And that's one thing I've moved to doing, especially with the heavier Dragoon and Walker holsters, is they all get a rivet put in that belt loop so that they don't come out. Even though that a lot of those early ones I made, they were double stitched all the way full length of the stitch. Eventually that if you carry it every day, that stitching will wear out. So I went to putting a rivet in them, and I put a few rivets in a few of the Navy styles too. Not too many of them, but I'm starting to put more rivets in. So bangs it they're pretty easy to set in, and rivets aren't that expensive. Yeah, Sabater, that's a pretty good description of Triple K. It's compressed cardboard, but this high grade, high dollar Herman oak that everybody told me to get, that stuff bends like particle board. If you don't oil it, I had one of that first, and I think I might have got some bad leather too, because that first one that I went to bend around, I mean, you could hear it snap. You could hear the leather snap. That was when I had to start wetting it. Once you wet it, God, it just smooth and molded. But I think, judging by that first piece had a lot of dark on the bottom, I think they'd squeezed too much of the natural oil out, and it's just dry leather. Either that or got too hot and baked the oil out. But the second one wasn't as bad. But once I put the neat's foot to it, oh man, well, I can show you. This is a piece I'm working on. So when I cut this out, this one wasn't as bad, but it was still pretty stiff. I mean, if you bent it too far, you could hear it start to crinkle. And I put a real good amount on each foot to the point where it started looking damp on the backside. And now you can bend it, and it bends, and it's real nice. So, but this is on another pommel bag I'm working on. In this pommel bag, I used a 73 single action army holster pattern for it, and this will fit a Dragoon revolver. So this one's for that real fancy one that I'm working on. Same is true on the back, although this back one's still a little bit stiff, but it bends now, and that was after I put a lot of oil on it. In fact, you can't see it. I can. This still looks damp on the backside from the oil I put in it. But the Triple K belts, there's not a lot wrong with them. Just keep in mind they've got a lot of oil in them because I think they hot dip them in neat's foot. So whatever you put that belt on is going to get oil on it, or whatever holster you put on that belt's going to get that, and then it's going to also take in the coloration of the dye too. Had that happen with a holster I made, a very, very early one I made that looks like crap. Let's see. Jeffrey Davis says, back in the day, did they holster the Colt pocket models, or did they only carry them in a pocket boot, etc.? All the above. There's holsters made for them. In fact, I got a couple patterns for the pocket models. I got a triple recurve throat, which is basically your California pattern, Slim Jim, and then I got a full flap model that I've made a pattern for, which that particular one, the one that I've got made, is at work because I was going to use my pocket model there. And then my boss was never there to ever check my gun, so I could use it for demonstration purposes for just carrying on my hip. So I haven't used it yet. But anyway, that reminds me I need to take my Patterson in to work with me tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, they had holsters they were carried in the pockets. Yeah, it's funny is, you hear the pocket model holster in a lot of pictures I've seen. Or the pocket model carried in a pocket. A lot of pictures I've seen they're carried in holsters. All right, 9:19. Probably ought to start thinking about shutting this down here before too long because I got to go to bed and be up early in the morning. Yeah, Scott, I like the color that neat's foot oil gives too. The only problem with this friggin' Herman Oak that I got is that it's got spots on it where the natural oil has been squeezed out. So I gotta put dye on it. Dye covers it up real good. So you put just regular neat's foot oil on it, and looks like the animal had a rash before he was tanned, which that could be the issue too. But as stiff as that leather is, I think they squeezed the oil out. But I like this Herman Oak, and I don't want to go back to the Tandy leather because this Herman Oak takes the dye so much better. It tools so much better. I think, Garrett, you're going to get the last one of the Tandy leather I got. That's that civilian half flap holster I had cut out. That was the last holster that I've got left from that cheap Tandy stuff that I had, which it's good leather. It's just softer, but that stuff doesn't tool as good, and it doesn't take the dye as good. But I don't know. It's so much easier to work. It's like there's a trade-off. I got this Herman Oak. It's a bitch to work with, but makes really beautiful work. Or you can go to the Tandy, which makes still fairly beautiful work. Not as beautiful, but it's still beautiful. But the finishing on it doesn't come out as nice. Big D, yeah, I've heard people using olive oil, but when you price it out, compare it, I think the neat's foot comes a lot cheaper. Yeah, I've heard of using olive oil. Olive oil, glycerin, which I don't like using glycerin as much. Everybody swears by it, but I don't like using it. Basically, as saddle soap is. Because my experience, everything I've put glycerin on eventually dries out real bad. I like the neat's foot. It's just easier to put on. But yeah, neat's foot. Every saddle maker I've talked with used neat's foot. But yeah, I have heard of the olive oil used, and really, there's no reason why you couldn't use it. You technically use vegetable oil, because it's a natural organic oil. The only thing is that on historic pieces or stuff that's sewed with cotton thread, you want to be careful with that because when stuff gets old, that cotton thread will rot out with neat's foot. And I'm sure that's true with the olive oil too. Well, Scott, right now, I'm working from 8 to 4:30 down there. I'm not doing walking tours yet. We won't start doing that stuff till later in the summer. In the summertime, then they don't do as much for walking tours, and I surely don't have enough knowledge yet to do a walking tour. They kind of they've got a couple you can do your choice, so you can do a walking tour or you can do a living history program. Being they want me to focus on the fur trade, I imagine I'll be doing specific programs. Another one of the programs they want me to do is communication, Plains Indian Sign Language, which would be about a 30-minute talk. Yeah, because I got a lot of the fur trade experience, but the military stuff, that stuff is kind of above my head, and I've got a lot of reading to do to catch up on it. But yeah, if you make it out, I'm there Wednesday to Sunday, and I don't know when I would be doing a tour or a talk, or if they would stick me doing two. I imagine they'll have me doing some talks. I just hope they don't stick me with doing the soldier stuff because, one, I don't like dressing up like a Yankee, and two, I ain't nowhere near close enough to be ready to do that. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, the walking tours kind of went out with the COVID, and they was going out with that anyway because at Fort Laramie, freaking tour can get into a 2.5 to 3 hour tour pretty easy there. It's pretty easy to get those because you've got so many buildings to cover in such a big area. And they told me they'd gone to half-hour talks, which that I think is going to be a lot better. That's what I've been doing with school groups, has just been doing a half-hour talk on the fur trade when they come in, and that works a lot nicer for me. All right. Well, there we go. Garrett got some firsthand experience there on the olive oil. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff dries out faster. I know neat's foot doesn't dry out very fast. So when I was first getting started into this in 2015, I made a pair of Buckskin pants. When I'm started getting into living history, that is. I took those things, and the guy said put neatfoot oil on them so that they'll darken and get dirty and look more like brain tan because I use chrome tan. And so I just assumed that he meant soak them in neatfoot oil. So I soaked them in neatfoot oil. That was 5 years ago, and they're still wet. So that's one nice thing about neatfoot is it does stay with the leather for a while. But saddle soap, yeah, seems like when the saddle soap dries out, the leather gets crinkly and rough, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't use it. And Grandpa went away from using it because he said that's what happens is you got to keep putting it on, or else the leather just goes to crap. But yeah, I've used Lexol. I don't like using Lexol. I really don't want to ever use Lexol if I don't have to. Because that's another one of those like saddle soap. If you put it on, it dries out if you don't keep doing it. But neatfoot for me, it softens the leather up, soaks in better. The thing is, like I said, you can get too much neatfoot, and you can do it right quick if you ain't paying attention to what you're doing. I usually put it on. This last batch, I put it on excessively heavy. To the point where I could start seeing it come through the other side. When it starts looking damp on the flesh side, that's a good sign you want to stop. But I was putting it on with a brush to the point where it was no longer soaking in. I put it to the point where it was just sitting there on top and not soaking in real fast. And then that was kind of when I quit that, and judging by the back, how wet the back was. But yeah, I'm big neatfoot user, and I'll keep using neatfoot as long as I can keep doing it until I find something that's a hell of a lot better. Lard works really good too, especially if you're in a hot environment. Lard will soak in pretty good. The thing with lard and neatfoot are basically the same thing. It's just neatfoot is refined lard. But you got to get the lard that doesn't have any of the salt in it. All right, folks. Well, I think I'm going to shut it down here in the next couple minutes. So if you got any other last minute questions, comments, concerns, ideas, something you'd like to see happen on the channel, maybe we might make it happen. I'd like to do some shooting videos this summer, but I don't know if that's going to work out or not. It's been quite a while since I've been able to do one. Being as I got a shooting range just down the road, there's no reason why I shouldn't do it. But Garrett, yeah, lard will go rancid. I'll tell you what, neatfoot oil goes rancid too. I think that one of those last holsters you sent, I put that neatfoot oil on it, and it was a bit rank. But yeah, they're a fat-based oil or grease or whatever. They will go bad. Which, if you can make lard out of lamb's fat, that would be, because that stuff doesn't go rancid as easy. Yeah, Kentucky. Hopefully I'll be here next week. We'll see. If I ain't here next week, well, we'll catch up the next time I get on. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking I should probably do a live chat, because I hadn't done one for a while, and I had intended to do one. I just didn't get it done. Next week, I'm hoping maybe I can get out. Well, I get paid on the 18th, so I might be able to buy a fishing license. I want to go out and do some fishing here. I might just have to do that a night after work, but that's the thing about work is by the time I get home, God, I am so played out from running around doing this, that, and the other. Yeah, I don't want to sell holster. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to sit in the chair and watch a documentary or Deadwood or the hell else was I watching the other day? I started watching something. I don't remember what it was, but I've been watching a lot of the old westerns. I watched Scalp Hunters last night with Burt Lancaster. That one's good. I watched another good one too. Oh, The Indian Fighter with Kirk Douglas. That one was all right. Yeah, Scott, I'm glad I made it up here good too. Thank you. Yeah, I had that was a 2-trip process. I had to bring all my stuff up, all my junk and leather and stuff. Brought it up, went home, was home for a couple days, and loaded up and brought the dogs. I need to get a bigger vehicle. That little 2-door Jeep just ain't cutting the mustard, but maybe one of these days when I get a permanent job, I'm going to upgrade to a 4-door Jeep. I like this 2-door Jeep, but there's sometimes it ain't quite big enough. And when you got 2 dogs and a whole bunch of junk, it just gets that much smaller. So, all right. Well, it looks like the chat's pretty well slowed down, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Yeah, Scott, that was a lot of, 5 hours a trip. So, yeah, it was 20 hours driving over the period of 4 days. Not terrible, but yeah, it's not like driving up to Rapid City. That's an 8-hour drive. It was just five and a half to get up here, which is not terrible. When I was driving out to do South Dakota, that was damn near 11 hours on the road. That sucked. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Night, y'all. We'll catch you maybe next week. If we do one next week, look for it Sunday or Monday night. I'm going to try not to do it on my nights before I go to work, so I'm not up real late. And it's getting late enough. I need to think about going to bed. So catch y'all. Oh, Jeff, you got a good one there. I'll look at that here right quick. On 1860 Army, the cap goes off after the second time. The first time was just a click, not even a pop. Should I buy a new mainspring? That or check out. Make sure your caps are seating all the way. That would be the first one. But if you've got a relatively new Uberti, I would not be surprised if the mainspring's a little on the weaker side. And it wouldn't hurt if you upgraded to slick shot nipples and Remington number 10 caps. I know the slick shots are about $40 for a set, but I think they're well worth the investment. But yeah, that would be the route I go. And if it's still not doing it after you do that, yeah, then you're going to have to address the mainspring because there's something up with that. But my guess is your caps probably aren't quite seating right. So anyway, we're going to sign off for now. We'll catch y'all next week. Try to do it next week. Take care, and God bless, and keep your powder dry.